You're watching HuffPost Live. I'm Caitlin Becker. When you think of a proposal, you probably think of a man getting down on one knee and opening up a little box to reveal a shiny ring for his bride-to-be. But a new survey shows that around 5% of men are also starting to wear a symbol of their commitment before the big day. Joining us to discuss why man-gagement rings are on the rise and if we really will see more bling on our boys in the future, we have in the Google Hangout Amanda Gizzi, the Director of Public Relations for the Jewelry Information Center, Drew Cottle, a graduate student who wears a man-engagement ring, Nick Castillo, an operations manager who wore his wedding band as an engagement ring, and Rachel W. Miller, the editorial director at Lover.ly, who bought her now husband, Eric Miller, a mechanical engineer and engagement ring. Ooh, there's a mouthful there. Okay, Amanda, walk me through this a little bit here. I have a tweet to start us off from Ryan Carter, who responded to our producers and says, I never thought about it. Why don't men wear engagement rings? But this isn't a new concept. So what is the history around it?
Exactly. It's not a new concept. It's just foreign to most people in most cultures because it's not something that is currently really embraced by men. But as far back as, 1926, there was a big resurgence of people wanting to really promote the idea of equality within a relationship and men wearing an engagement ring, and it never really fully took off. But now, more than ever, there's a lot more gender equality within a relationship and just equality in general, where both people want to show their commitment, and that's certainly why we're seeing people really talk about this trend once again.
Drew, I got engaged over Thanksgiving, and it's so interesting how almost immediately after I put the ring on, strangers sort of, particularly men, approach you in a different way. It's like I'm automatically seen as off limits, which is great because I am off limits, but the same doesn't happen for my fiance. Now, you wear an engagement ring, and why did you choose to go that route?
Well, I was proud of being engaged to the woman I'm engaged to. And I just kind of figured, why should women have all the fun?
Okay. I, being a lover of jewelry, couldn't wait to see my engagement ring. Are you sporting like a diamond solitaire with a halo setting here, or does the man engagement ring look different? Can we see it?
Sure. It's actually a traditional Irish ring called a claddagh. And
your heart is facing in, so that means you are taken.
Right.
Okay.
When I'm married, I will wear it like that.
All right. Very nice.
But it's simple and it was cheap, and yet it still shows to the world for people who choose to see it, like you say, that I am off limits.
Now, Drew, what did your fiance think when you started sporting the man engagement ring? Did she think it was a sweet gesture, or was it a little strange?
Yes. A little bit of both. I think in the end, she saw it more as sweet.
Now, Nick, you wore your wedding band as an engagement ring before you guys got married. Why the decision to do that rather than just wait until the big day?
Similar to what Drew had said, there's no reason for her to have all the fun. We were both in a committed relationship, obviously. We've been together for so long. But to just publicly display that, it seemed like, why not? And I purchased my ring shortly after we got hers. She was already wearing her ring, and I figured, why not wear my ring? Also, her engagement ring is also technically her wedding band. It was an old piece we got from like the 50s we found. So it didn't really come in a pair to find a wedding band to go with it. So we just figured we'll both just rock one ring instead of having to go with multiple rings.
Now, Nick, you bought your wedding band and man engagement wedding band combo yourself, right?
Yeah, I did actually. After we got engaged and she had her ring, I found my band on Etsy. It was actually a guy that lived out west somewhere. I forget now exactly who hand engraves rings. And I liked one of the designs he had. It was similar to the one that my wife has. So I just went ahead and, I ran it by her, obviously, and said we talked about it and thought it was really nice match. So I just went ahead and placed the order myself.
So now, Rachel and Eric. Rachel, you got Eric a special ring. Did you propose with the ring? How did this all work?
No, we didn't have a proposal at all. I know that's the tradition, but it was just something that I was personally kind of uncomfortable with. We've been living together, we had dogs together, and this was a mutual decision. So I didn't really want to have a question asked to me in this sort of grand romantic way that just didn't feel like the right fit for us. So we picked out our rings together ahead of time, and then we set a date a couple months in advance when we would make it official, when we would start wearing the rings, and when we would tell everybody, because I think that's sort of what an official engagement is nowadays. It's when you tell people you're planning a wedding. So we actually planned a surprise engagement party for our families. So we had them come down to Houston where we live, and didn't tell them we were getting engaged that weekend, and then sent out invites to invite our friends, let them know what was going on, so that we could have this sort of, it was like a sort of a fun proposal for them more than us.
Now, once you got married, it's usually tradition that the woman adds the wedding band to her engagement ring. Eric, what did you do when you guys got married? Did you just keep your engagement band as your wedding band?
No. Rachel and I talked about it, and I think we both kind of felt that like a separate band for our wedding would be appropriate and would be fine. And so we found something that I liked. So I still wear my engagement ring on my right hand, and I also have my wedding band on my left.
Okay. I understand that a lot of guys won't even wear one wedding band, and you got two going on there, which is kind of amazing. Both my dad nor my stepdad wear their wedding bands. They have them, they don't wear them. And famously, Prince William sort of refused to wear a wedding band after he and Kate Middleton got married. She got a ring. He's not sporting one. I guess technically we all know he's taken because he's Prince William. Eric, was it foreign to you at all to wear this initially?
It was definitely different. I couldn't help but feel like the first few days I felt like I had I didn't really feel like I had a ring on my hand. I felt like I more had a lighthouse on my hand. Like it felt like that was the only thing I could see, and that was probably the only thing anyone else could see. And not that it was like frightening or anything like that. It was just more of it was just very new, and really the engagement ring probably within a week it just sort of became a part of me, and I didn't really think about it. And the wedding ring is it's starting to do the same. My left hand still feels really heavy, but it's starting to get a little more normal.
Well, and I should point out too that I asked him first, like, do you want a ring? Do you want a watch? Do you want something else entirely? So I didn't want to get him a ring and make him wear it. It was more of like, I want to buy you a gift. What seems like an appropriate gift for this occasion? And we kind of looked at a bunch of different options and came back to the ring.
Now, Amanda, I have a comment here from Kyle Goldfinch responding to one of our producers, Lauren, who says, well, it is a necessity if you're a male gay couple. I guess in that case, or a female couple as well. But to me, I don't know why that would really make a difference, because when it does come down to it, you're both really committing to be in this relationship. Do you think we're going to start seeing an uptick in man engagement rings?
I definitely think we will. And like you had said, it's not an issue of, a young gay couple, as he put it, or a young couple like the ones that we see here in front of us today. It's about equality within the relationship and people wanting to show their commitment. And let's be honest, when it comes to relationships, there's no other symbol that says you're in a committed relationship like an engagement ring and wedding band. So it's kind of a natural progression, and I think it is still a little bit foreign, so it's not going to be something that suddenly 95% of men are going to be wearing, but it is something that we will see, that percentage continue to rise.
Just as we're wrapping up here, Nick, what is your advice for people who are getting engaged? If you want to buy your man a man engagement ring to go with your engagement ring, is this something that you two should talk about first, or is it okay to surprise them the way women are often surprised with engagement rings?
I would suggest talking about it. I mean, everybody has, their own idea what traditional and what's not. But I mean, I would think by the time you're getting to being engaged, a lot of that stuff was probably already come up, and you kind of know what you would both want out of the whole engagement and wedding scenario. So yeah, just being open with them and honest and talking about it and see if they're interested. And if they're not, then that's fine for them. If they are, then great.
I have a comment here that I would like to end on if my computer ever loads up, but it's been very slow today. And here it is. Jeremy Simpson Kringle says, I've never been so hit on as when I wore a wedding band. So maybe this is really a way for all of us to just get a couple free drinks when we go out. Just kidding. Just kidding. I want to thank you guys so much for joining us. And for those of you that are engaged right now, good luck with your future nuptials. And of course, congratulations on your wedding. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And you can read more about Mangagement rings by clicking on the links below in our resource well. Stick around. There's a lot more coming up on HuffPost Live.